Welcome back to the podcast. Today we are talking about one of our favorite side hustles to do with AI, and that is an AI podcast, actually. So, Jaden is the king of these. He's been doing it for quite a while, and he has an exciting update with one of his recent AI podcasts he started. It's a fully automated process, and he's starting to make some real money with it. So we're going to break all that down for you today and go into the specific numbers as well. Before we do, I wanted to mention if you are interested in this kind of stuff and you've always wanted to learn to make money online using AI or grow your business, you need to check out our school community called AI Hustle. We'll leave a link below, but it is a community of over 650 members now. And we have bonus content over there. We do weekly live streams, which you can actually access for free. If you join, you can watch our weekly live streams. If you miss those, though, and you want to go back and watch the recordings, we have a huge vault of over 100 videos. You can go back and watch if you're a premium member. And those to access that, it's $19 a month. So we'd love to have you be a member, see what it's all about. You do get 5 trial bonus content episodes too if you want to see what it's all about first. But yeah, we'd love to have you be a part of the community and see there's lots of really other cool people in there building awesome stuff with AI too. So, but let's get into AI podcast. Jaden, give us the update. How's it going for you?
Yeah, this is awesome. This is one that I've started a few months ago, actually, and I just got at the end of the month. I had my like revenue update or whatever when they do the payouts from ad revenue from this one particular one. So this particular niche is history podcasts, but I've done this with finance, fitness, health, technology. And the goal with this type of content is essentially to create evergreen content. So what you're listening to today, actually, technically, this podcast episode, you could classify this as evergreen content. But if it's like news, which we talk about a lot on the show, that doesn't really work for this style because you want something that can be useful forever. So finance, like a finance podcast that's like how to save money, how to invest money, what's a Roth IRA, what's the average annual return of the stock market? That kind of stuff is like doesn't change. It's information that doesn't change. And so if you create a podcast episode about that, it's useful for somebody today, but it's also useful for somebody in a year. And that's kind of the type of content I make for these revenue driven podcasts. And it's actually something I'll also probably do in these AI generated podcasts. It's also something that you'd call like a faceless YouTube channel, although I haven't done any YouTube with this, but I do have plans to convert this whole series that I've built. First, I just put it out as podcast content. So it's just on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and it just has an ad at the beginning. And later on, I will turn this into a YouTube series as well and have a whole YouTube channel. I'm sure I'll give you guys updates. But so far, this month, I made $1,200 in ad revenue from this. It's completely automated. And what I've done is I've actually, this genre is history. So it is just, I got ChatGPT and Claude to come up with a list of 365 different events in history. And by the way, this is actually a good niche, but there's 1,000 other niches like I just mentioned. But the history one's interesting because you can really get it fragmented. You could just do like German history. You could do like French history. You could do like American history. You could do World War II history. Like you could have a whole podcast on just World War I or the Civil War, or like there's 100 different things that you could, if someone's really interested in that, they'll listen to all your episodes. So for this one in particular, it's a history podcast. I won't get into like the super granular niche here. But I don't think it's super relevant. It's just a history podcast. I made 365 episodes, and I actually got Claude to generate the scripts for them. Actually, I think ChatGPT might have generated half. Claude generated the other half. You just want to, like, if you're going to spend any time on it, to make it so it's not, I don't know, quote unquote AI slop, like you want to make it as high quality as possible. I went and wrote up or worked with AI to write up like 3, I think, scripts that were really high quality that I really liked. I looked at a lot of other popular history podcasts, how they broke down facts, how they framed it, how they structured the episodes. And I came up with like 3 episodes that I were like, these are like the golden standard. And then when I had it write the scripts, I had it reference those and a whole bunch of check marks. So if you just say, go write a history podcast about like the Civil War, you already can imagine what it's going to sound like. It'll be like ChatGPT. But if you want it to be high quality, you do the same thing, but you give it like some very in-depth prompts on how you want to write it. Usually I would just say like write one that's the gold standard, and have it follow that, reference that for everyone that it writes in the future. That's how you get the quality higher. And then I would say just like go through and tell it to remove all of the weird AI things, like it's not this, it's that, or like all these like weird AI ticks. Just get it go through and like remove all of that kind of stuff. Remove the word delve, remove the word anything that sounds weird like that. Just make a rule book basically of what it should do. So you kind of have to figure out your quality and your style for your first 3 episodes, and then after that, it will be able to write the next 365 completely automated. The way that I have it set up with this type of content, because it's quote unquote evergreen, so it works year round, I have it so that it will actually, I go and just post all 365 episodes, usually like right off the bat. And then I will have a software that I made, but you could vibe code something super easy, that goes and logs into my account every day, and it takes the oldest episode and it reposts it today. So every day it just goes and reposts the oldest episode today. So it's constantly recycling. And if someone really were to, I mean, I post them all at once. So there's 365 episodes. If someone wants to binge them, they can go binge them all. I'll just get more ad revenue. So that's kind of why I go up front instead of just like slowly scheduling them all out. So if someone wants to binge them, they can. But also, like, if someone really did listen to it every day when the new episode came out for 365 days and you like the history podcast, my assumption here is that in a full year, I have 2 options. Either I can go make another 365 and add it on top, or I might just keep looping it forever because I can't remember. Like, if you really listen to 365 history podcasts, you probably don't remember what you listened to an entire year ago. And when the World War II, how they dug their trenches episode comes on, maybe it's just as interesting like a year later. But so I don't know. I haven't decided. If I start seeing like a drop off in like listeners after a full year cycle when it starts looping again, I'll probably just go get it to make another batch. But my assumption is like listener churn and yada, yada, yada. I probably can just have this little program I have set up so it will loop it forever. I never need to touch it and it will just make money.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have some other strategies, but I guess from your perspective, Jamie, any questions on this?
Well, my mind is just kind of blown because I see, you said you made $1,200, but in the past 30 days, you've had 11,828 downloads. That translates to roughly $100 per 1,000 downloads. That's crazy.
So the $1,200 isn't all from this one podcast. That was the next thing I was going to go into. Okay. My strategy that I've deployed, I've talked about this at other places as well, is when I'm starting a podcast, I will actually start 10 podcasts and I give them all a different name. So the content, it's the same 365 episodes, but I have AI make a different name. So like examples, none of these are accurate, but I might just call it like the History Podcast, History Podcast to Study, road trip history, right? Like I might do that, American history. So I might have like these kind of different segments that give it different names.
Got it.
And I usually will publish all 10 podcasts and post all 365 episodes on all of them. It's slightly a waste because usually what ends up happening is maybe like 3 or 4. In this case, I think 4 of the podcasts got meaningful downloads, and 6 of them, it's like a dud. So it's actually quite a lot of work, and I use Claude to do it, so it's not the end of the world. But it is a lot of work to go and get 365 episodes uploaded on all 10 of them. This whole project, like getting a whole thing like this, usually takes me about a week to set up. Well, I call them like a podcast network in this case. But it usually takes me like a week of like work to get it all set up using Claude. But like I mentioned, it does run forever. And so it's, to me, I'm like, whatever, it's worth it. If it made me $1,200, but it took a week, it's whatever. And I'll also say that for this one in particular, I have a podcast studio, and my studio manager, he's the one that actually runs it all and posts the episodes and schedules them and like manages, like he kind of like built it. So I came up with like the first 3 episodes, I came up with a strategy, and then I handed it off to him and he built it all out. So, and we're doing a couple other ones as well. But,
so this, just to clarify, these analytics we're looking at is for one of the 10 history podcasts. So this particular one made $106, but between all of them, they add up to $1,200.
Yeah, and actually, I wonder if I could show the payout history better. So this one's done about 40,000 downloads in the last, probably like a better like way if you want to calculate this, because their analytics are kind of weird because like they don't pay you the first month. It's like, I think like on the third month that you actually get paid
Okay.
for something. So it's kind of convoluted, but basically all time downloads are about 40,000 downloads. I've been paid out on this podcast $550 and have another $100
Oh, okay.
sitting in like whatever escrow, like built up or whatever. So it's about $650 for 40,000. So you can do the math on
Okay.
that. I'm going to have 10 of these, and about 4 of them have meaningful downloads like this. And just this month, they've all accumulatively done 1,200. But I say it's like one
Mm.
podcast because it's the same 365 episodes. Like the content's the exact same.
Right.
Like publish it on 10 different platforms doesn't really
Yes.
change the fact
Got it.
very much. So yeah, this is a really interesting strategy. All of the audio is generated on 11 Labs. And if you're wondering how much that costs, it can definitely vary a lot. I have a strategy. If you're interested in doing this or any other sort of audio strategy, go join our Skool community. And I have a video on how you can get $6,000 of 11 Labs credits for free. And this is actually how I built this whole thing. I've actually got that $6,000 multiple times. So I have $12,000 that I've gotten of 11 Labs credits for free. So because of that, like, I don't know if I would have like just tried this business otherwise, because this might have cost, I don't know, this might have cost like $3,000 in 11 Labs credits to build out. And these actually are very long episodes. It's like 2 to 4 hours, these history ones
Wow.
that I've done here. So these ones
Wow.
are long, and that is not necessary at all. It was just what I wanted to, that's what I was testing out. You could do 15-minute or 20-minute or 30-minute episodes. Is probably more normal for this type of content. But yeah, probably it would have cost me probably like $3,000-4,000 to build what I've already
Yeah.
to generate what I've already generated, but it was all free with 11 Labs credits. If you're interested in getting that, go join the Skool community. We have a video on how you can get that and how you can set up a lot of this stuff. I use RSS.com as my distribution platform because they have a really awesome ad network. I've also used Acast and Art19, and in the past I've done Spotify for creators. And of all of the different ad programs, I like RSS the best.
Okay. And yeah, and it looks like it is starting to snowball too. I mean, if this one has 39,000, almost 40,000 all-time downloads, but just in the past month it has almost 12,000. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's exciting progress to me. It looks like it's going to keep going up for you, but
Yep, it's going up. So if I look at my like analytics of like all-time analytics, you can see that the trend is like going up, and then
yep.
the down is just because it's the start of a new month. So
Right.
yeah, we've
Yep.
done like on this show in particular, we did about 12,000 downloads last month. The month before was 10,000. The month before was 9,000. Then it was 5,500. So yeah, they do grow, which is really exciting. AI podcasts on entertaining content. And like I mentioned, the next step for me with this is going to be turning this into a YouTube series. So I'll just take those audio files, and I'm actually not doing anything crazy fancy with the YouTube series. It's going to have probably like a crackling fire in the background, sound effect, and I'm probably going to get a bunch of AI generated photos that match the episode. And so I'm just having to figure out whatever the best flow is for generating the images like as cheap as possible, so I don't spend a ton of money on credits. Maybe I'll have like some sort of localized lab or a localized LLM running on a computer. So yeah, that'll be the next phase. But I'll let you know how it goes. And I've seen content in this genre on YouTube. That's actually how I thought of doing this genre of history content, where I saw a bunch of YouTube channels that were doing 500,000 views on these types of videos. So I
Wow.
was like, well, it'd probably be good for just a podcast, which it was. And so now I'll go to the YouTube channel as well and let you guys know
Yeah.
how that goes.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. I love the idea of running something locally, because that is kind of the one barrier with some of these content creation hustles is the cost of credits, to make stuff. So thanks for sharing that. Yeah, let us know how it goes. And yeah, we'll let us know if you guys are listening to this, wherever you're listening, please leave us a rating or a review. We really appreciate those. They help us reach more people. And we read every single one. So, and if again, check out our Skool community if you would like to be a part of that. We'd love to have you be a member and grow your business with AI. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.